Let's get into our thoughts on tournament strategy for the week with leverage, stacks, and long shots. How do you plan to get leverage on the field this week?
Yeah, so I think the best way to get leverage on the field, and I outlined this in my video if you want to check that out on our YouTube channel, is flipping the build. Okay, we know or we assume that there's going to be one chalky build, and that's going to be pay up for high priced running backs, pay down at wide receiver, and pay down at quarterback. So the way I would get leverage on the field in large field tournaments specifically is playing high price wide receivers, maybe paying down to one or two cheap pass catching running backs like Chase Edmonds, who I think is a phenomenal play this week at 4,600, should go under owned in my opinion. And then, like we mentioned with the quarterbacks, pay up to one of these guys like a Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. I think that's how I plan to get leverage. I still think you have to play one of these top three running backs, like necessity. I'm going to play one in every single lineup, but you could definitely get away from playing two or playing three of these guys that are high priced.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that there are really two paths to getting good leverage on this slate. The first is in general lineup construction, and you just outlined that. And I think the second is by taking stands against the public in particularly unknown situations when it gives you ownership leverage. And like what I mean by that is if Marvin Jones is highly chalky because of the price at 3,600, then I'm going to find the money to get up to LaVisca Chenault, right? And other target situations that'll be apparent as well. Michael Pittman is going to project to be the number one target, but like you said, you can pay down even lower and get great ownership leverage by playing Paris Campbell or Zach Pascal, who could easily lead in Colts wide receivers for fantasy points in week one. And I think that there are a myriad of situations like that. Like people are going to want to play DJ Moore for 6,100 in the Carolina Jets game. Robbie Anderson's $400 cheaper. And if you get an ownership discount, I'm going to be targeting that. And I just think that there are situations like this all over the board, and people are very confident right now, overly confident in how they think that these target shares are going to be distributed, and just capitalizing on people's overconfidence is going to be a primary strategy that I implement this week.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty great strategy, to be honest. Just goes back to what we were saying. This is an unknown week, right? Projections obviously aren't great right now because there isn't previous weeks of data to use in projections. So we don't know how these target shares and how these unknown situations are going to play out. And if you're getting ownership discounts, like you mentioned, I mean, God, it's just wheels up for some of these guys, especially with Marquez Callaway. I want to bring that up again. We don't know if he's good. We don't know what his target share is going to be, but he's going to be the highest owned wide receiver on the slate. So why not just go down to Terrace Marshall, take the $400 discount, who might see more targets than Marquez Callaway this week, period. Why not go up to, the two guys you mentioned, Campbell and Pascal, for 300 more as as two guys that should see targets for the Colts, and Gabe Davis, same price, clear cut GPP pivot, I think, from Callaway, especially if you're stacking up the Bills, and he's going to be like 1%. So
Yeah, and ownership is going to consolidate, and we've said it a couple times to maybe lean away from projections, but specifically we're talking about point projections. I think ownership projections are going to be very solid, as they always are. It's pretty much down to a science at this point, regardless of what site you use to get them. I think that the ownership projections are going to be very close to where they end up being. And if Stephon Diggs is, say, 20% owned and DK Metcalf is 5% owned, and they're $100 apart with very similar ceilings, well, I'm just going to go play DK Metcalf. I'm just going to be hammering these ownership leverage situations and making lineups that make sense around that sort of situation.